the most admirable chasers you could possibly wish to see.
Hello and welcome to the Racehour. This is it. It's All Ireland Final Eve, I suppose we would call it. I'm Stephen Cass, your host. We are sponsored by Gambling.com and Betfred, joined by the usual amongst Diarmuid, Nolan and Tony Keenan, but also joined by Gary Connolly. And Gary, I have been following your tips at the weekends with Tom Lee, and you've been doing fantastically well. Great to have you on, Gary. How are you keeping?
Not too bad, Cass. Yeah, tipping along okay on the Tipstyle podcast, but yeah, even if broke clocks right twice a day, I suppose. So yeah.
Come on, Gary, that's the spirit. High energy, good start. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. And we're doing day 1 and 2 today, and the weekend show we're going to do day 3 and 4. So the day 1 and 2 chronological. But before we get into it, we wanted to have a quick chat about how you treat Cheltenham hunting wise. So Tony, you would be kind of a level fella. Every race the same, a 5-1 winner at Hereford is the same as the Arkle or whatever. Is it just steady as she goes, or do you treat it? There's obviously angles to it, and do you treat your stakes and everything differently?
Yeah, it's more than steady as you go. Just before we started, I do want to mention a good pal of mine, Brian Gauld, has his usual website up, gaudstats.com, with all the trends and stats for Cheltenham. Not just going back 10 years, I'd say going back before any of us were born. He's a great enthusiast for the game, Brian. Chatting to him about the sport would do your heart good. He wouldn't have any time for these lads going off to Benidorm anyway for the week. He'd be frowning on that kind of stuff. But I think it's Brian's last year doing it. It's always been for charity. It's never about making a few quid. And obviously a very topical cause at the moment. He's doing it for the Injured Jockeys Fund. So if you do use the site, don't be afraid to donate.
So God's.com. And Tony, he's a great man for the algorithm as well, because he always comments below. Dermo loves the comments. So comment and like and all that correct, like Brian God. So God's.com. Fair play. Go on, Tony, on Cheltenham.
Yeah. So on Cheltenham, look, I'm looking forward to it now. I think it's quite a good Cheltenham. I know there's a bit of negativity about and all that, but I do think it's a decent one. I think there's some very good races here. Champion Hurdle, Champion Chase, all interesting. Novice hurdles, I think very interesting. And look, the Gold Cup is cut up a bit, but just the way it kind of happened, fact the file hasn't stayed, and one or two of them fast and slow in this have missed out. But being straight about it, it wouldn't be a massive betting meeting for me, like an Irish Champions Weekend or Dublin Racing Festival. I'm going into this in my own punting. I'm kind of at level for the year. I lost small in January, I lost one small in February. It's not for a turnover and a trying. I'm just going into this meeting I just not as a be all and end all. There was a time when it would have been. I just don't think that's actually good for me, to be honest with you. I'll tell you a wee story now in a minute. If the opportunities present, I'll play away, and if not, fine. I kind of learned something about myself and me punting there 2 years ago. I was on kind of Mallow mission for the National Hunt Chase, right? At kind of 50s and 40s and 33s and all that type of stuff. Obviously he fell, right? I had him for a good few quid. I'm not saying he would have won, right? But look, he was in the mix there. I'd say he had a decent chance anyway. Now, psychologically, this is awful kind of to admit. Hey, they took a bit out of me that punting wise. I tell you, I was 6 months recovering from that. 6 months now.
And what I said to myself, stake wise or mood wise or
not stake, but stake wise and kind of just the way I was seeing things and looking at things. But it just knocked me off keel. One or two other things went on that thing weren't going great, betting wise and stuff like that. And then just said to myself afterwards, no, I'm not letting that happen again. And since then, I haven't. I have plenty of bad beats now, but I haven't let it. And I'm not saying it won't, and I'm not saying it won't happen again next week, but I'm going to try and avoid it. And I kind of know I'm a little bit behind in my work for Cheltenham, which isn't ideal. That's just the hop of the ball. Look, where I'm going with the meeting is I prefer to look at races where the Irish have. There's a lot of Irish form in the races. That is. Obviously a lot of the greater races there, but they're studied over. This is handicap hurdles are the big thing. Irish horses do tend to dominate the handicap hurdles. Handicap chases are, for me, English, British races. Can happy enough to leave them off. And just on the thing about handicaps, I was chatting to Palaveras there, a good pal of yours, Stephen, Frank Hickey there after the show podcast last week, and he was chatting about handicaps. He made a good point. He says, hard enough to find the winner of the handicaps when you have the declarations, he says. Not to mind to try and be looking at them now. I haven't faced into a handicap yet. I'd be letting the 5 days cut them down for me, but I'll do the Fred Winter now tomorrow, which will be today or Wednesday, when I've got the 5 days and kind of work out from there. And, a couple of extra handicaps now, National Hunt Chase, Novice Handicap Chase, that's going to take a bit more time. So that's kind of way I'm approaching it. Now, look, I still bet plenty of my own opinion, but I'll be betting other people's opinion. But one of the obvious angles with Cheltenham, like, there are some races that, look, just mathematically, you kind of have to have a bet. You know, the extra places and the setup and the races and, you know, the each way angles and stuff like that. So that'll be my way going into it. And definitely, I'd still be looking to have to get over Gorn and Naas on Saturday and Sunday before I'd be Cheltenham. Like, they're two good meetings now, I'd be thinking of. So that's my way of approaching it. It might be different to other people, but that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I have two things to say. One is a general punting thing, and one is Cheltenham specific then to two of the handicaps. The general punting thing is I put up our gentle boy at our preview we did in the GOAT, and he was 40-1, and I'd be very much win-only man at that kind of a price anyway. And there was a couple of comments below saying, how can you put up a horse 40-1 and not do it each way? And I'd make the point on this, like, let's say you're going to have a €20 total stake. If you have like, this is obvious maths, but people don't think like this. A tenner each way, if the horse places 90 back, that's a 7-2 winner. Like, I'd rather have the 2 tenors on to win. And if the horse is in the 3 and first of the 3 places, then, you know, you have a 40-1 winner rather than, you know, your 7-2 winner, let's say, if you get a place. So I just think sometimes when a big price, especially if you're beating the price, if you're backing big price horses like that, in the long run, you're better off actually backing a win only. So that is just one small point. And the other, this is
Steve, just race specific to that race. Like, if you get 12 or 13 runners or more in that race, which is, I'd say, highly likely, you're getting 4 places on the day. So is he going to be a massive shorten or no? So that's another little angle just to be thinking of with next week, you know.
And the other thing, and this is very race specific now, it's something I like to do, and there's very few races in the whole year I think you can do this. And 2 of the races you can are the Fred Winter and the Coral Cup. And I like to back all of the rags, right? All of them. So let's say you're going to back the bottom 10 rags. Now, and the Fred Winter, right? The last 10 runnings, you've had winners at 25-1, 33-1, 33-1, 80-1, and 18-1. So half of them are over 16-1. The Coral Cup, 16s, 20s, 28s, 33s, 50s. Half of them are over 16-1. And some of them are complete rags and would have been 3-figure prices on the exchange, right? So what I would do is, let's say you have a euro or a tenner on the bottom 10. Let's say you have a tenner for argument's sake. That's costing you 100 quid on the exchange on the bottom 10. They would be 60 plus. They'd probably be between 60 and 300. So if, say, the lowest price of those wins 60-1, you're on a 5-1 winner there for your 100 quid or your euro or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? It's just something I like to do. You know, you kind of treat it as a total bet, and your payout might be between 5-1 and something like 30-1 if it really clicks with a big price one. So look, that's just a small thing I like to do on the handicaps. I wouldn't do it in the Ultima. I wouldn't do it in the Grand Annuals. They go to fancy horses, but definitely the Fred Winter and the Coral Cup. They'd be 2. I'd look at that. Gary, Diarmuid, anything you do differently at Cheltenham that you might do at other times of the year?
Guys, you can go first if you want.
Probably the biggest thing is, don't bet every race. I know it's very hard and I'm going to fall down on this, but there's 28 races. You don't need to back them all. It's just back your strongest opinion, like the day-to-day stuff. You'd be selective enough, but just when it comes to Cheltenham, lads just tend to go a bit book mad. And probably, I usually need to have a shower after I do it, but this is probably the best festival for the bad each way races, like with the terms, the enhanced terms the operators offer and stuff like that. Especially day one, the last couple of years, there's a lot of value to be had for the bad each way trick season, Yankees with the shorties, but feel absolutely filthy after doing it. And it's probably the best meeting as well for the enhanced terms after Royal Ascot. They're the 2 main ones, so I'd never shy away from enhanced multis when you're getting the extra places. It sort of puts the maths in your favour when you're getting these enhanced terms, and you have a right chance to click something meaningful with it, with a multi on it. So that's more so I'll be looking just at the festival more so than the day-to-day stuff for me.
Yeah, and Dermot?
I don't know that all the enhanced terms, definitely a big one. I tend to just get stuck in these weeks now. I really do. Like I say, if my betting account doesn't have a bet every week, you probably could knock up a missing persons poster somewhere. There's something seriously wrong. But especially on these weeks, the one thing that I have worked on massively over the last few years, and I mentioned this a few months ago, is making sure that your opinions pay. So the ones that you're very strong on, making sure that they're the ones that you will, if they win, you will take your money out, because there is nothing worse than being the amount of times when I was 18 or 19 or 20 where I'd have a really strong opinion on the day of Cheltenham. I wouldn't have that much money to kind of go at. So I do a lucky 15 or something like that to kind of make sure I was making money for the day. And then you end up with one winner and a lucky 15, 3 losers, and you're not making the money on the big opinion that you actually had. So that's all I have. That I love multis and everything else. I do them all the time. But just making sure that those 1 or 2 horses you really, really fancy do actually pay depending on what your stakes are and what you can afford to bet. That's where I kind of have improved an awful lot these kind of last few years, Cass, is making those kind of opinions actually pay for yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Very good, very good. I kind of treat it like being at a race meeting, so I will have a bet on every race, like you would if you're at Leopardstown on a Thursday night.
Same. Yeah.
But like you, the ones I have opinions on would be much more significant bets than the race to race that I might have. Yeah. Okay, straight into the Supreme, and we've kind of heard what Dermo and Tony fancy in that they both like work ahead, and we'll hear that case again. But we have a fresh voice here, Gary Connolly, so you can give us your look at the Supreme. Is Kopek unbeatable?
No, like, he's not unbeatable, not at all. Like, there's a lot of, you could be taking him on, especially the price. The exchanges have just been haywire the last night or two with the price on this and the other 2 fabs that Mullins has. One that I'm siding with, have backed them now as well, is Salvador Monday. He's probably a bit of a forgotten horse, especially if the jaw doesn't rock up here. He's going to half in price. You can get 6 to 1 on him now. Like, realistically, the best piece of form in this race, he has it when he chased home Sergino round O'Toy. Like, is running the Moscow Flyer. He done a lot wrong, but he did do a lot right to win that race. Like, the move he made around that home bend was, I was impressed enough by it. Like, he's been let off since. He needs to settle better. He needs to jump better, but he's in the right stable to do that. And like, he has a serious engine, this fella, and he's just like, he was 5 until Kopek the boards came on the scene just at the start of the year. And I don't know, like 6 to 1 looks a fair price to me for a horse with an engine. He's been here. He's been here last season. Like, Kopek could boil over in the preliminaries. At least he's been here and done it on a big day, so he knows what to expect. And yeah, he looks a fair enough price of 6s. And again, if Kopek, I don't know if they move him or whatever, Townend jumps on him, he's going to be on the day 2 to 1 shot. Like, so,
Yeah.
Anyway, no, I'd be happy enough with the position on him. Even if Kopek runs, I think he'll put it right up there.
Yeah, but just on Kopek moving, whenever we get to it, whenever about final demand moving, I can't see Kopek to board not running the Supreme because he's so free and buzzy. The strong pace of 2 miles just had to be for him. You're hardly going to trip with him, is what I would think on that. So, Salvador Mondays 5 to 1 with our sponsor Betfred, non-runner, no bet at the moment, so it could be a good price to take. Diarmuid Nolan, you were strong on work ahead, workforce, work ahead. He's 52 now.
Workforce will go well too.
Yeah. He's 52 now. Would you still be interested at that, or happy to leave him alone?
On it bigger, so I'm happy enough to leave it. I do think you'll get bigger than this now on the day, 15 to 2. I don't think he'll be all the rage at all. I agree with you completely. I don't see how they can put Kopek to board up with how he looked. He's looked now. You just couldn't put him up and trip. But yeah, no, Cass, obviously nothing has changed. Still very keen on work ahead, but I'd want a little bit bigger than that now on the day, I think.
And Tony, in fairness, you were the one that actually put work ahead into what we call the Shield of Justice, and he was 25 to 1 when you put him in. Has your view of the race changed at all?
No, not really. And I suppose I have a question for you. I kind of mentioned this, I think, when we did put him up. Like, are the 3 expecting a deep race here or a thin race? Because I know there's a ton of entries still. We find it a bit more with declarations, but personally, I'm not expecting a massive field here. But I don't know, what do you reckon?
About 14.
14.
I reckon Mullins runs about 7.
Okay.
Yeah, Mullins runs. He's on about running 7 or 8. And then you've got Tripoli Flyer, Work Ahead, Romeo Coolio, and there's about 2 or 3 others I can't pluck out of my head now. But there was, I had it because Ruby Walsh keeps saying, I've heard him saying a few times now that there could be 20 runners in this, which I was trying last night to put that together where he was getting that from. He said 21 or 22 runners could happen. But I think he was working off the basis that Mullins had 7. So surely, because the Bromhead has 2 as well, doesn't he? So thing there, but I reckon I do reckon 13 or 14 will run just because of the fact that I think a lot of people, owners, view it as one very strong favourite to beat, and then it's open from there, I think. So I would say that. Mullen seems to be very keen, yeah.
Just on the exchange at the minute, I have 9 horses that are double figures or shorter. So that's the only ones that aren't 100 or more. Usually a good guide to what's running. I don't know. I'd be surprised if there's any more than 10 or 11, but that's just an opinion.
Yeah, I'll be with you.
How do you think it's going to affect it, Tony? Like, is it going to? I presume Workhead is just going to go out and make it anyway. So it's going to be shape of the race is easy. See 10 or 15 doesn't matter. Kopech to board he's going to try and settle them in second or third or fourth and find a posse, give him a bit of daylight maybe, and just try and chase down Workhead between 2 out 1 out. Is that not how it's going to be ran? So I'm not sure it doesn't matter the field size.
Yeah, no, that's how tactically it'll go. Yeah. I just wonder how many of these other ones are going to turn up, but that's going to affect the place terms as well, obviously.
Yeah. I'll just give the message to Triple E Flyer, who I think was extremely impressive, and I think he's getting up into the 150s on his beat the Miami Magic. The last day, I think he starts overlooked. So Triple E Flyer is one I give a life to, but I think Kopech to board is going to be very hard to beat. And the second race on the Tuesday is, of course, the Arkle.
Just one thing on that Triple E Flyer, did he bleed? He bled after that win, did he?
Yeah, but then after that, again, Fergal O'Brien came out and said the bleed was actually in the nostril, that it wasn't coming from the chest.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're bleeding from biliaries or whatever it is,
Well, William Haggis said the same in the what do you call it, the Dante there. I'm very cynical about that now. When he ran the champion stakes at Ascot now. I don't know. I'm always a bit cynical when they come out with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, fair. That is fair enough. The next race is the Arkle, and we've Matchborough as a hot favourite. Loda Sud is second favourite on 9-2. Django Boy. We're only going to have about 5 runners here as well. Like your runners, Matchborough, Loda Sud, Django Boy, Touch Me Not, and then one other of maybe San Salvador runner. Maybe they'll throw past Alboden or something mad. So very, very small field here. Loda Sud is obviously going to be handy. Touch Me Not's going to make the run, Tony. So it's kind of come and catch me, Matchborough, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I've changed, not changed my mind, but I have a little bit of an opinion in this. I see already all the firms are betting just 2 places in this, which is a little bit of a pity. Very, very early for doing that, preempting the declarations. I think Touch Me Not is going to be a bit overpriced in the place market and the without market. I've just changed my mind. I just think he might be second best horse. And he's 3 times the price of Loda Sud, and I think he might have finished a hell of a lot closer to him in Sandown if he hadn't made that mistake, and I'm just going to take a chance. I put him into a few each way multis when 3 places were available there a couple of days ago, and I don't think he's the second most likely winner, but I think he might be the second most likely to chase Matchborough home, if that makes sense. And the other thing is, Skeltons like to win. They don't ride for second. Not that Jenkinstown particularly do as well, but when they've already been beaten by him, they might say, right, okay, second will be satisfactory.
Do you think Touch Me Not won't make it then, Tony? Do you think they might let the Skelton horse make it?
He did sit behind Matchborough last day. Oh. So it's not that he has to be a complete tearaway.
He's not a tearaway. No, he's not. No, that's for sure. Gary Connolly, we haven't heard your opinion on the Arkle, so are you in the Matchborough fans club?
Yeah, Matchborough just wins. Absolute beast of a horse. Jump around wins. These boys that love to bet early have it on their Twitter for next year. Matchborough Gold Cup 25s. That's the bet as well.
And Diarmuid, we'll move on at the same time. We know you.
Let's move on.
I'll go. Justice. And Diarmuid, you kind of have a word for one in the Ultima. That's our next race to 240 on the Tuesday.
Yeah, so I featured this the last day, but really like Henry's friend in this. The UK do always kind of have their foot forward better now for the Ultima. Ben Pauling's just brilliant with handicap chases at the Cheltenham Festival. He's a 40% place rate with them. This guy was brilliant at Newbury. He was unlucky as well in the old Hennessy chase, and he's been kept aside for this all season. He's still well handicapped off 145. I think he's a horse that He took in a Reynolds down last season. He's a very good racehorse, and off 145 running here in Ultima, at 16 to 1 and 20 to 1 out there. He's a cracking bet, I think, Cass. Really, really good bet.
Okay, Henry's going for Diarmuid, the Ultima. The one I like in the Ultima, and she's kind of starting to be found now. There's kind of a view out there that Irish horses can't win this. It's absolute nonsense, if you ask me. I mean, especially someone like Cromwell or Alias decided to actually really target one of this. Of course they can win it. You know, it's another chase race.
They just haven't
Another
targeted
handicap.
for years and
No,
years and years. That's
no,
the
it's-
difference. Yeah.
No, they haven't. But it's a handicap chase in the UK. If they did target it, and there's a small chance one has been targeted. Now, Dermo, I kind of didn't think of this horse because I had said to you a few weeks ago, Melina Girl will win the Kinmuir, and I was desperately disappointed when she wasn't entered. And then I started thinking about it yesterday, and I was disappointed to see Paul Healy put it up last night, and people are starting to cotton on to her. But I think there's a really good case for Melina Girl. Like, obviously, she won at Cheltenham last year off 135. She went up to 146 then, and she was going to, well, hard to say, but she fell 2 or 3 out, and she was going really well.
She was going to win, I think, that day
I
under
think
Connor
she was
Stonewalsh,
going-
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and who was in that race was Broadway Boy Protector at 300-5. She's actually £4 lower than that now, despite that running too bad towards the end of last season. But they brought her back, and I kind of thought there's no way they're going to run her at Cheltenham because she ran only 3 weeks ago. And then I noticed yesterday when I was doing the form that she won 3 times in her career with less than a 3-week break. So maybe, you know, they were trying to get another run into her, knowing that she takes her hard knocked in racing really well. And there's still 16 to 1 non-runner, no bet out there. I think it's a fabulous price. Like, she's well handicapped on that form around Cheltenham. We know Cromwell's a genius. I think there's no real reason an Irish horse can't win this. One thing to watch out for: she'll either carry 11-1 or 10-13, depending who's the top weight. But Pete Donoghue's lowest riding weight is 11 stone on the button. So if Pete was to ride her and get down to, especially if she got down to 10-13, like, that'd be a fair slew now. But even if you got down to 11-1, it'd be extremely, extremely low for Pete Donoghue, who had weight issues in the past. So it'll be something to watch out for.
If he got down to 10-13, I'd say he'd have to cut his right foot off, I'd say.
Yeah.
I ghost
honestly,
wrote his
it's down to
blogs when he got
10-13.
down to, like, he used to get down I used to ghost write his articles when he used to be getting down to the juvenile weights, and he'd said himself he'd just be, like, weak.
Yeah.
Like, he'd be starving.
He has gotten down to 11 in the last 12 months. So I think he's
Yeah,
better
no.
at the moment.
But if he does it, it's a massive sign, as you said. It's a huge sign because
Yes.
it takes a lot
So-
out of him. Yeah.
That's something to watch out for. But I quite like Melina Girl. I think 16 to 1 is still very, very fair. I could see her going off something like 5 or 6 to 1 on the day, you know, if they really fancy her, which they may or they may not. I don't think Cromwell's going to give too much away. So the next race on the card is 320. It's the Mayor's Hurdle. And there's a little all over the place, and that, you know, does Lotsy come here, but I don't think she will. So we're starting to look at Jay DeGrucci, July Flower, Golden Ace, Cala Conti. And Tony, it's a long time since you made the case for Cala Conti for our listeners. So do you want to give it to us again, or are you still sweet on her?
Very sweet on her. God, I think she's the best bet on the Tuesday. He'll be a fair bit at the prices at the moment. It's not a particularly complicated case. Like, it's a 10 Mayor's Hurdle. I think a high 140s performance is probably going to be good enough to win it. I respect you, the Grugy, a very likeable mare. Only day she'd been beaten was in the Dawn Run last year, which to me is just a race you need to be striking a line through for form purposes. I don't like the fact that she kind of has had a little bit of an interrupted prep for this. Your man, owner's representative, was saying back in January they're hoping to have read the last third of the season, and just a little bit of rush. I think she's a little bit vulnerable, and I just think July Flower's second favourite, Cala Conti, has to be broadly the same price as her on the Leopardstown run. At the weights, the way the race went, and Cala Conti's got loads of scope to improve, only just after turning 5. I've always thought that she wanted 2.5. I think she improved for it the last day. This is Elliot's way of doing things. He keeps them busy up until Christmas, because he's aiming at Down Royals, Fairy House and stuff like that. She won at Down Royal, I think, ran at Fairy House, over trips too sharp, and I just really like her at 10 to 1 in this race. I don't think she's a superstar.
Yeah.
No, she's shortened kind of season last year, didn't run after the DRF last season, so we get another reason for a bit of improvement to the 10 season last season. So yeah, I don't think she's a superstar or anything like that, but I definitely think she can get into the mid to high 140s, which is good enough to be very, very competitive here.
Yeah, 10-1 with our sponsors, Betfred there, Cavalcanti, Tony Keenan, very sweet on Diarmuid Nolan, the Mayor's Hurdles.
Haven't really properly landed on one here. I'm torn between Calaconti and I watched July Flowers' performance back last night. That was actually a monstrous performance. Watch it back. Her price now is plenty skinny, but it's also what's kind of tearing my head a little bit is that if Lossimo comes out, she shortens quite a bit as well there. So I'm torn between July Flower and the brilliant case that Tony makes. So I'll leave it permeate a while more.
Of course, Gary Connolly, Joyeuse is probably likely to be supplemented for this winner, the Betfred Hurdle, or sorry, whatever the William Hill Hurdle as it is now, whatever it is. She'd have to find a bit in the ratings, but she looks like a Nikki Anderson improver. She'd definitely be a live player.
Yeah, certainly. Like it's madness to look on for a handicap, but we're in there. They didn't spin her out, get one more run into her. Yeah, certainly has a chance. It won't be a race to be rushing to get involved in. I'll probably just be following Tony's selection. He's made a decent case for her, but yeah, not one for me to probably get stuck into. But yeah, follow Tony and Calaconti.
And one to get stuck into, certainly opinion-wise, whether it's one to get stuck into bet-wise, it's hard to know, but the 4 o'clock is the Champion Hurdle. And with the news that Brighter Days Ahead is coming here, we're going to be looking at something around the even money mark. Constitution Hill, Brighter Days Ahead will be 9-4 or so, and then Lossiemouth, something like 5-1, and State Band will be 10-1. Plus, even if Town and rides them, I suspect. Gary Connolly, we would like to very much hear your thoughts. Firstly, on Constitution Hill, and the shape of the race, and do you give the Mayor a big life? Your whole outlook.
Constitution Hill, yeah, right favourite. He's plenty short. There has been chinks in his arm. I know this year since he came back. Won't be rushing to back him at the price, but he is the right fav. Brighter Days Ahead to be dead against her. Can't have her. Just fair play to him taking a shot at it, but yeah, I think she did dogged it a bit last year, didn't she? Here, I don't love. I'd be against her. Staten doesn't look the horse he was. Lossiemouth, I'd be strong on her if she didn't have that horror fall the last day. I think this race would be set up perfectly for her. I'd be amazed if Townend's not on her, to be honest. I think he's gonna, if she lines up here, he'll ride her. Just the makeup of the race, they'll go clip Bright Days Ahead as the pacemaker in it, and just if she's ridden with a bit more constraint, that was a madness ride at Leopardstown, the two boys last time out. Once that fall isn't leaving a mark, she looks a bit of value at force. Even in a match bet with Bright Days Ahead, I'd be strong in Lossiemouth to be her here. So that's probably the mark I'd look at if I can get a match bet between the two, or depending on the day, Lossiemouth to beat Staten. That's the way I'd look to play, I think. Okay,
Tony, I'll give you a scenario. On the day the English FC went into Constitution Hill, he's strong in the market. We know you don't like the Willie Mullins pair, Lossiemouth and State, and you've given good reasons for that. Brighter Days Ahead starts to push out a little bit. Let's say 11-4 on the day. And you're going to have 3 each way places, which you mightn't have. God, be desperate wanted. You don't even have 3 places in the Champion Hurdles. But if you get 3 places, 11-4 Brighter Days Ahead, what would you do in that?
I would have from plenty multiples anyway, whether it backwards or another thing. It's either Brighter Days Ahead or nothing for me here. And at the minute, it's probably nothing. But that scenario that you're talking about, the Constitution Hill shortening up and there possibly being 8 still in it, is foreseeable. That's where I'm at with it. I've just wondered, Elliot putting the decision out there on Monday morning, I'm not sure it's going to work, but was he trying to tempt Mullins into going to the Mayor's Hurdle with Lossiemouth? Like, is that what he actually wanted to do? Let's get another one out of the road here and we just take on Constitution Hill. He probably feels that he has the measure statement already.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Rather than them having their mind made up later on in the week, that you put the little question mark there. I think you're right. I think it's good for the race they've announced it early. Like, Diarmuid, I don't know what you think, but there shouldn't be the option of the Mayor's Hurdle. Like, the crowds are going to be low. The crowds are going to be down. I think if you did a 3-day festival, and you had much stronger classes, and the Mayor's Hurdle was a grade 2 or a handicap, whatever, and you had rid of the Ryanair, if you ask me, rid of the novice handicap chase, if you ask me, like, these classes should just be guaranteed to happen, shouldn't they?
Yeah, just There's Kill the Ryanair, and then the Mares Hurdle has served its purpose. There's a lot more mares in training now, it has to be said, than there probably was at one point in time. And the Mares Chasing Ollies, I do think the Mares program works, but just make them all grade 2s. Making them a grade 1 has kept some very good mares out here. But Willie Mullins today again has pretty much said the Lossiemouth goes to the champion, so I don't think there's any kind of problem there. And yeah, the longer this goes on, the more I do think Brighter Days Ahead will beat Constitution Hill. The more kind of the closer I get, but it's just, look, we haven't had a champion. When's the last champion hurdle we've had that looked this? Was it the one with Lorena and all them in it that looked this competitive?
Yeah, but they
Apples,
weren't
Jade, Lorena. Remember?
Yeah,
Bouvardere, yeah.
Bouvardere.
Yeah, Bouvardere, yeah.
Yeah, the one F. Bardallen won. But even then, like, you know, F. Bardallen wasn't coming into this in the class of those horses, and neither was Lorena, really. So, like, this is a much high class.
Much better one than that, yeah.
This is 2005 stuff, really, to be fair. You know, maybe they're not all at their best, but certain Brighter Days Ahead certainly is, in Constitution Hill arguably is. So this is more your brave.
It's a cracking race.
Yeah.
Are you still very much cast Constitution Hill? You just can't see him beaten?
For almost identical reasons, I'd be dead against the Willie Mullins pair, and even more so on Lassie about like a mare that's, you know, showing she wasn't that happy, came to and a bad fall, can't give her any chance. Same as Safe Man. Just thought, like I said on the podcast before, I thought Townend was basically holding on to a wet bag of rubbish, so I can't have him. And Brighter Days Ahead, like I did. Gary said she was questionable at Cheltenham last year, and the more I watch it, I really think she was. She'd every chance there. She got first run on Golden Ace. Didn't like the hill. Her pedigree with Mighty Potter, Caldwell Potter, all those sort of horses there, it suggests it could happen again. I think the hill is a big question mark for her. I think Constitution Hill could probably run to 168 and win. That's sort of the way I see it. And I think what we saw at Kempton certainly suggested he could do that. People say, oh, he ran a low RPR or whatever at Cheltenham. That's complete nonsense. Sure, he's basically out for school at Cheltenham and battered the last, and he looked to do it very easy beyond that. So yeah, I'd be Constitution Hill definitely, and I think he'll be once again certainly on the morning of. I think the English on track will come for him, and maybe he'll go off the shade of odds on. But you're going to be getting 5-4 in the morning, so yeah. Look, but at the same time, I'm not going to be having a huge bet at those prices, but I will probably try and back in some way or some shape or form. The 440 is the Fred Winter Juvenile Handicap Hurdle. And Gary Connolly, I'm going to come to you again first, because I know you have a very strong selection here.
Yeah, there's there's one or two that I like. Well, I'll break it down. The key piece of form for me is a race in Navan, Maiden Hurdle, where Total Luck beat Beyond Your Dreams. I think these two are going to be very strong. I'm just siding with Beyond Your Dreams. She looks to have got in very lean in the year of 123. But I have back Total Luck at the post. So a quick peek behind the curtain. Just when you work in the industry as long as I have, you build up a few contacts. And this fella ran in Punchestown the start of January. And prior to the run, a couple of separate WhatsApp groups getting pinged, retail cash on Total Luck for the Boodles. Get on. Separate operators, separate companies, all this. And then just go and have a look yourself. Trainers don't bet, apparently, whatever. But there was really shrewd cash around prior to this one running in Punchestown. Came toward.
Trainers don't bet, apparently, whatever, but there was shrewd
yeah,
cash.
it's so yeah, he's well found in the market now, second five. He'll go very close. Like the right. If it's retail cash, particularly warm type of retail cash, I'd pay more. I put more weight in that than the online stuff now these days, just for getting money down. So he's definitely going to go close. But Beyond Your Dreams, finished close up behind her. He gets a 9 bet. She gets a 9 bet swing. Joseph knows at the line now for this, and put away since she landed on Maiden 2 seconds, and then landed on Maiden December. Freshened up for this and off 1, 2, 3. I think she's very well in here. So she'll win. Total Luck will chase her home. And yeah, easy enough.
Okay, I'll be back in the bottom 8 or 10 rags. So you can put up a big boom on Twitter, Jarmo. If any of them win, you can say Stephen Cass puts that one up.
Just screenshot the price.
Yeah. 80 to 1 winner for Stephen Cass. What about yourself, Jarmo? Who do you like in the Fred Winter?
I find this race really intriguing because the top of the market, the marks are very high for a Fred Winter. You know, generally the Fred Winter winners are between 120 and kind of 128-ish. Like even going back to like the Jazzy Matty, he was 125. The top of the market, the English handicapper has absolutely battered the Irish juveniles, particularly. And there can be fair logic to it because generally the Irish juveniles over the last few years have been miles better. But if we are suggesting, Stephen, that maybe the English horses have caught up a little bit, then maybe it is. I've been kind of scouting around here. I kind of ended up having a few quid on Hot Fuss there, who has some very, very decent pieces of form. Particularly last time we had Marble Sands, gets in here off a very nice weight as well. And this horse is just a very, very decent horse. And he's trained by Tom Dascombe, which I found very interesting as well for a jumps horse. So 16 to 1 or so. I'm still going through it, but even like Mambo number 5 there, just to give you an example as to how different the handicapper has treated the Irish and English horses. Mambo number 5 won a very good race at Kempton last time. Really good. Beat some very smart horses there for Ben Pauling. Beat up Mondo Man, who cost like 400, 500 grand. And he runs here off a mark of 128. And then like so Wendrock, who won a race at Christmas, hammered last time. He's running here off 136. So it's a race, I think, that while the Irish horses will be all well punted at the front of the market, I actually think you could end up really having an advantageous look here at some of the English horses who seem very well handicapped, really well handicapped.
Hot Fuss and Mambo number 5, two vastly different quality musical numbers. Can you name what band their first album was? Hot Fuss.
Hot Fuss was the Killers, and Mambo number 5. Mambo number 5 was that terrible, wasn't it? The
I'm impressed. Cool. I can't name the singer of the Mambo number 5 song, but yeah, we're giving
Vegan, use Philistines, Lou Vegan, Mambo number 5.
Okay, well, Hot Fuss is the winner in that match bet anyway. That's for sure. Tony, have you any opinion on the Fred Winter?
I think a fair question about Luke de Vega rather than Lou Vega or whatever. That might give me a bit of a chance. But anyway, come here. I was going to make the same point as Diarmuid has made there. Like Jesus, the handicapper's taking Gavin Cromwell winning races now, and personally, now I think some of these marks he's handed out. My God, total luck 132. Yeah, you're doing well to get there now. £7. Not saying he won't win. Presenting Percy was one there, got a bit of a beating before the Pertemps 1 year, and it could still be well handicapped enough to win. But he's certainly making it difficult for him. And like getting to 136 for Wendrock now, that is tough.
Some goal.
Yeah.
There's some going there. You're rating them off the Galileo Dame for. I was at Galileo Dame was a totally different horse in the spring juvenile there. They rode her differently. So.
And come here, Tony, all the English are saying the Irish in the Triumph are no good. And how can the Irish in the Triumph be no good? And then you have horses like these rated in the 130s.
Exactly. You're just about to make that point. Like East India Doc is the horse that has the best form, I think, in the Triumph in terms of winning margin and putting distance between half decent horses. So yeah, I could definitely see myself taking a chance on an English horse, but I'm just going to wait for them to cut it down at declaration stage tomorrow. I see even Mullins has thrown some spanners in the works now at this stable here he's done today. He might even think of running Lady Vega Allen in this, which I thought wouldn't have been on the cards at all. I thought it wouldn't stay to the Triumph. Haven't finished third in a Grade 1 last time, but we'll see about that.
I'd say Irish claimers like Tiernan and Power Roach now are going to be very much in demand for this race because you'd need at least a £5 claimer here to be getting some of these horses into a decent mark, really, like massively.
Would your 3-day festival retain the Fred Winter?
Yes, it would actually.
It's a great race.
It's a great race. I love it. Yeah. It's a really.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever backed a winner of a cast, but I love it.
Get rid of all the amateur races. They shouldn't even be able to afford a flight over. Never mind, be riding at the festival. Get rid of the novice handicap chases, mares races, but keep the Fred Winter. That's a 12 race because we'll all have a chance to buy one rated 68 if we have Jim Bulger, and we might get a run. That's great. The 520 is the old National Hunt, the 3 mile 6. It's a handicap again this year. I haven't even looked. Diarmuid, do you fancy that?
I'm just going to be hoping on the day that somehow now as the hour starts drifting, which can happen sometimes. I find sometimes when a favourite is kind of watched over this long, they can kind of sometimes get forgotten on the day. So he'd be one of the ones out that I'd be hoping would drift because 4-1 is skinny, but there has been times where these favourites who are favoured the whole way through just kind of start taking on at the preview circuit, and then they can keep drifting. So that's what I'd be hoping for there. But a race that I'm kind of happy to say Stum on, Cass.
Yeah, very difficult. We see the field
Keep
for this.
Stum on. Sorry, I'd be killed now by back on. Keep Stum, sorry.
Yeah, keep Stum. Tony, I'm going to presume you don't have an opinion, and you can interrupt me if you do. And Gary, same.
No, I do.
Oh, you do? Go back, Tony.
Just one. Yeah, but just one thought. Again, when the weights come out, the English handicapper made a fairly pointed comment about now has the era been very difficult to handicap and kind of asking what they're at and having the last day really. I think he didn't name too many horses now. I think he probably mentioned Kopek to me and that, but he definitely commented about this horse. I like him as a horse. He's the one concern would be, along with the mark, would be the ground. He won in Haydock in really terrible ground, and maybe it's just a slog that he wants, but maybe it's the ground he needs. So, but I think Diarmuid find him is possible. Best English judge I know really fancies Haiti Colour, so I can pass that on as well.
Okay, very good. And you know
Front-
what's the
front
ground?
Rebecca
more-
Curtis horse, isn't it? That's Rebecca Curtis.
Yeah, the front end of the market does seem quite solid and like that.
Well, look, if she can train Pat's Fancies as well as she can cast, then she can train Haiti Clores
my
as
God.
well. So
Well done, Dermot. You got to mention.
I got to
Uh,
mention it.
Tony, with the ground, this is probably a stupid question. Like, can they get enough water on it? Do you know what I mean? To keep it as soft. Like, if you can throw as much water as you want onto my lawn the last week, but sure to dry out and out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was lashing rain last week. It's good to firm again. Like, can they actually physically keep the water going? They can't just keep the taps on all day. I just wonder, like, we've never had a dry spell of 25 days leading this festival before. Or certainly not in the last,
well, my thoughts would be that on Tuesday and Thursday, they obviously have the option of watering right up to the last minute.
Yeah.
But on Wednesday and Friday, racing's on, so they can't. It's just really cutting their options back and stuff like that. So whatever chance you have of getting a bit of cutting it on the fresh ground, the Tuesday and Thursday,
Should be fine though. It's soft ground today, and it's still heavy on the cross country course, so I'd say they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think did a bit of good. I think did a bit of good to soft in it today. Now
They did.
Yeah. The other thing,
and I'd imagine they're telling lies.
Yes, very possible. Very possible.
Yeah. Gary, did you ban in the 3-mile-6 race, or will we crack on to the Wednesday?
Now's the year been laid out for it, but plenty short enough. One at a price that I think will improve for this sort of trip is Late Night Rumble. Get a bit of 33s on him. He looks like he can improve for this step up and trip, this type of test. So for small stakes, I'd just have a few bob on him.
I never heard of him. That's a nice one. We'll look him up after. The Turners in the first race on the Wednesday. Gary, this is more like it. The new line, Final Demand. The big question mark is Final Demand going to go here? Do you have a strong opinion on the race, Gary?
No, it wouldn't be overly strong. Just a new line. Generally, when JP spends the big money, he doesn't miss with these type of horses. But yeah, just if you don't know where the second fab is going, it's just tough to get involved at this stage. But if they both ran outside with the new line, or just a bit speedier, I think.
Yeah, definitely a speedier type. We talked about this before. This race has gone to stayers, but Tony, it's kind of messing up the race a little bit. For looking at it at this stage, doesn't let you know with the question mark over which race Final Demand goes for.
Yeah, I'd be very much in agreement with what Gary said there. I'd be thinking the same way. And even the fact that they're considering going up and trip with Final Demand would suggest that they are concerned about possible speed test over 2.5, and the idea that he is a stayer in time. He might just be good enough to that's to win it, but yeah, it won't be a worry for me anyway.
I thought Cheltenham ran really, really well when he kind of got stopped in his run. Town was very aggressive on Salvatore Mundi in the Moscow Flyer. David Casey said in the preview that up and trip will suit Cheltenham, so he'd be a big price. A second string for JP. I'd be interested in him. Dermo, anything to add on the Turner's novice hurdle?
No, I like 6 Mile Bridge, but just like Lance Armstrong now, he's been failing dope tests now over the last day or two. So DMT.
Yeah,
but apparently he had an injection on his hock there three weeks before, and so once that buzz keeps going now, I'll be on him still.
Yeah. Now this is more like Brown Advisory. This is a horse race. It's Ballyburn, Danzig City, Better Days Ahead, Grove Park, Lecky Watson, Peter Bourbon, Stellar Story, Gorgeous Tom. This is a proper horse race. Tony, I don't think you had a strong opinion on the preview night. Have you had a chance to think about it anymore and come down.
No, this is one race I had a real good look at there about a fortnight ago. I'm no further on. I think it's too difficult. I think taking out the 2.5 mile race has made it an absolute crack of a race. Like there are 7, 8 with lives in this. And yeah, just on the subject of Ballybourne, we were chatting about the fact that Ballybourne may well shorten, has started to shorten, but he was 7-4 there not that long ago. Just because he's going to shorten, does that make him a good bet? Are you totally in that camp there? Well, so 7-4, if it's going to go off evens, is definitely a bet. I'm not always there. I mean, it's just because there's money now. Public horses or townland horses or other reasons.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Yeah, I suppose you have to assess what percentage chance you're giving them yourself, don't you? But it's a good bet to do no matter what, isn't it? I know
you
what
would
you're
be
saying.
that kind of way inclined, Cass, wouldn't you?
I'd be very much like that. Like if there was a horse, if there was a race, horse 1 to horse 10, I'd never seen them, never heard of them, didn't know the trainers, and you told me one of them was 2-1 that's going to go up 10-11, I'll back them. Yeah. So I'd kind of be for it. I'll be very much for it. I've a €20 double on Masborough, the Arkle, and Ballyburn in this, and I paid €3,200. So I'll be cheering on Ballyburn. So I won't have to back him. I probably would have backed him at the 15-8, same what you're talking about there, Tony. Only for that, and maybe had a good cut at him, even though I really like Stellar Story. I just think he's very classy and a big price, but you'd want a bit of cut, so that's the problem for him. Diarmuid, you're keen on Gorgeous Tom, and it just keeps getting better and better with the forecast. So it's dry now, even on the Wednesday, looking at the forecast, and we're getting close. That the forecast isn't going to be a mile out, so you must be getting a bit excited about Gorgeous Tom.
Yeah, of course I am. And just, he enjoys that ground, he'll enjoy it all, and he'll keep going. The one question is whether he's good enough, which is very much the big question. But he was a punt long term as far as the ground kind of coming right from him. You never know, a few of the ones ahead of him could end up coming out off that basis. So, 25-1 could be looking quite big in a few weeks, Cass. Sorry, 1 week.
Who'll make the run in here? Because Ballyburn isn't the front. Well, Ballyburn can be quite keen. They're not going to want to make the run with them. The low head carriage and all. Danton City doesn't make the run. And Better Days Ahead, maybe. Crow Park, maybe. He's speedy, but he wouldn't be a dour stayer. Stellar Story definitely won't make the run and then drop him.
I wouldn't be surprised with Better Days Ahead, just because I think last time when I watched it back, I did think he dossed maybe a little bit. So maybe by gunning him, they might just take that chance out of him. That's all. Well, I know you don't think he dossed last time. You think he was just beaten.
I just don't think he's that good. He's a 150 horse. I think he's a good, very good 150 horse. Yeah. I think something class here would beat him on the day. It's a really good race, Gary, isn't it?
Yeah, like in the classics at Ballybourne. I'd be with you guys. He's going to go off a short price. He's just a bet. If you back some of the bigger price when he goes off short or long term, it's the only way to win in this game. I'd be siding with him. And yeah, Gorgeous Tom, for reasons already said, looks the value play to chase him home. I'd be dead against your Stellar Story. Jumps like a snooker table. Like, can't be having him at all. He should be going to stay as hurdle, should he?
Still might, according to David Russell last night. He still could. David Russell seemed to be trying to push last night.
Not looking at the exchanges anyway. And if Stellar Story was 6 or 7 to 1, based on the fact he was a better horse the last day, Better Days Ahead, I wouldn't be going near him. But I think with his talent, and they kind of did get him jumping, especially the latter half of that race last day. So if they've halfway figured out a jump, and I think he's got a serious engine. Actually, look, the ground is a huge worry with him now. If it was heavy ground, he'd have an incredible chance. But he has won a good bumper on yielding ground, but it's definitely going to play into the other hands a bit more. Gary, you would be worried about Ballyburn's jumping?
Yeah. Class gets you through these things, don't they? I don't think it's just a different gear to these. Like, these are all, none of these will be winning a Gold Cup or a Grade 1 next season. I don't think this fella will. So.
Yeah. Okay. Cara Cup, a quick one. I mentioned King of PRs on the preview night. Better ground is better for him all the way. He does wear tongue tied. He is a walk in the park, so I put a lay up and running. Gary, do you fancy that in the Cara Cup, Jeremy? I know you liked Comfort Zone of Joseph's. Gary, have you fancy?
I fancy Comfort Zone, so let Diarmuid take that one over. Comeback to me doesn't go here, from what I'm told. Definitely Mark White. He's far here. So one I'd probably give a life to if he goes Gold Tweet, French horse. This type of race might suit him. He'll travel into it like a travelly thing, and he has good hurdle form in the book. He's been over the bigger obstacles. He ran a good race in that Haydock, over fences behind. He was a Royal Pagoi. He's a seriously classy horse. Like, I don't think he's overly burdened with the mark he's got. And he's only 8. He's been around a long time, but he is only 8 now. And I just think this type of test might suit him. Sander Clegane was another one I liked, and Eagle Fang at the prices. Just you're going to get silly each way terms in this, so those are double figure prices. I'll throw in small multis as well.
Yeah.
But a couple of zones I like, and Dermo will make the case for him, I'd say.
Yeah, quickly, Diarmuid make the briefcase for Comfort Zone.
Yeah, briefcase. It was really good at Christmas, I thought as well. Just price seems quite big. I think people seem to think that this horse is going to the Martin Pipe. I think if Cutback to me goes there, this horse comes here. And 16 to 1, 20 to 1 just does look very, very big for him, just considering his very strong back form. Won very well in the flat before Christmas. Looked to me like they were kind of warming up Christmas time, and I love the fact he's held back here. He's a better horse fresh, so he's one. The other one I like here as well, Cass, is Bo Zenith, who he is a horse that was second to Zenta at Aintree on good to soft ground. He loved this ground. He's ran well twice this season, but I do think he's waiting for kind of ground like this. And 137 for a horse who in a previous life was running second in grade 2s, but in grade 1, sorry, that's only 2 seasons ago. I do think he's very well handicapped for Nicky Henderson as well.
Very good, very good. The cross country is the next race, the 320 on the Wednesday. Diarmuid, we stay with you. Did you have a look at this one?
Did, but no opinion at all. Keep on
Okay.
trucking.
And Gary, will we move on to the Champion Chase, or have you?
No, this is one of the bets of the festival in this one, Cats. Now, been a while since the Frenchies had a winner. I think it was possibly Easy Lands in this race, and the cross country trophy is going to be paraded around the Eiffel Tower. ICO Madrid wins here. I think he's in here off a mark of 122. Be tying up if he gets a run. He's number 21 on the list. It'll be 16. The UK handicapper doesn't rate the French cross-country form for whatever reason. There's a horse called Sweet David beat Mr. Coffee in November around these fences. This lad is 5 kilos better than him in France. Good little jumper. He'll have Felix de Giles on him, who's probably going to be the best jockey in the race for this type of test. He came over in December. He was actually vying for favouritism with Stumptown. Badly hampered at the Tour, unseated. He's had a spin round O'Toy last month in the Grade 3. Came 5th, which is a very solid run. He's in here off a welterweight if he gets in. You're looking at about 12 to 1 at the moment. It's just they don't know how to handicap these horses. And he's probably one of the better ones in France for the cross country. This is their bread and butter. These horses jump anything.
I'm sorry, that's very interesting because Gary, we've kind of didn't say at the start, Gary is a paid French tipster who runs his own tipping groups and everything else. So the Frenchies is what Gary does make his living off, but he's been trying to get one to win in England now for years, and I haven't heard him around the office as excited about a horse now in a long, long time than this one.
Yeah, there's just a lot to like. I think he's been overlooked just with the flashier Irish names. This fella is a serious little horse, and he'll go very close here.
Very good. I wonder if he's slightly out of the handicap. Can he carry 9-11? I know it's a limited handicap this, so he might be technically out of the handicap, whatever the UK handicap has given him, but sure, he'll still be off 130 or whatever, thereabouts. Yeah, very good. ICO Madrid for Gary. Tony Keenan, does the 500 to 1 shot land that you have a selection in the cross country?
Oh, thought that was a very good case, though. Very interesting that one.
Very
I'll
good.
have a look at that, definitely.
We'll all back the French one, and I forgot. I didn't realise that Gary. I was like, why is he tipping gold to eat the Irish Cup? And sure, French. Gary tips every French horse that runs in the UK, regardless. So that's legally, it's a contract. He has to, if it's French.
One of that's the way it cast. One of only clearance.
The Queen Mother Champion Chase is 4 o'clock on the Wednesday, and Tony Keenan, I think I heard you somewhere recently make a case, and I was about to ring up to get you sectioned because you were making the case for Marine Nationale.
Since you made the game, so I have, for God's sake, I haven't had a bet in this, but Yeah, chatting to someone about this there yesterday
thank
or the
God.
day
Someone
before,
with a bit of sense.
and he made a good point. He says, "Do you know what? When you start looking through it, there'd be a chance of a while over, wouldn't there? Like it's that type of race. John Bunn with the Cheltenham thing, Marine National with the head carriage, an Ergamine and Gaelic Warrior with the ground, Solness. Now, I was on a couple of previews there on Thursday and Friday with Kevin Blake. He just does not fancy Solness there. Like, as in, like, wow,
Oh.
I can't believe you're so negative about this horse. I think he just thinks it's only his own opinion rather than ever in the yard, like bonus territory completely. And he can't believe he won one Grade 1, not the main two. So thinking that's a little bit of a negative. So I'm tempted that the two I kind of have in mind here, maybe taking a chance on a Found the 50, and maybe Matat. Maybe a bit of a
Matat is
left
not
field
going,
one, but
Tony.
is he not?
Matat.
That's a pity.
No.
That's a pity, Yeah, but fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
but I could
Has
definitely
he
see the
found the
case
fifth?
for Found the 50. Yeah, go on.
We found the 50's kind of confirmed for today. Ties in with Solness, kind of travelled all over him that day in Navan. Now, maybe Found the 50 should have got thrown out that day, but travelled well that day. And he was really good down Ryle there, first time up this year, fresh. So, yeah, I might chance it. It'd be a small bet, but I can see at least one of the rags getting into the shake-up here. It's just trying to land on the right one.
Yeah, and Found the 50 definitely likes good ground, and he was second in the Arkle last year, so you can see it at the mad one now. He probably won't run, but I just think Blood Destiny the real forward goer. So if he can sit third, fourth, maybe he'd be the one at the mad price, and he's 80 to 1. Diarmuid.
I just find it really funny that David Jennings said to Tony on our preview night that he thought he was going to tip up Sanicia, and within 3 days of that happening, Sanicia goes on and wins the Webster Cup.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious, but
I was very annoyed at myself. I didn't have a favour or something on him because I was going to back him the day in Thorless that he came out the day appreciated one. He was 25 to 32. I said, I'm going to take a chance on him. Oh, did I back him on Saturday? I was giving out the head to me. I'm sitting looking at 150 and 160 on the exchanges there during the day. But anyway, look, you have that.
God. No, I'm on Solness. I'm happy to be. That would temper my enthusiasm, because regardless of Kevin having a strong opinion, which he always does, you'd imagine if Joseph and then we're raging about him at home, that he'd have come around a little bit to him. So for him to be anti him, but I thought Joseph was very praiseworthy during the week, but I suppose he always is. I was going to say as well, Found the 50 is very interesting at those odds. He does seem a very big price as well, just based off that run back in Navan. Sanicia was back in third, so that's serious form now, lads. And the
Great swamp.
So it was Found the 50 beating Solness, beating Sanicia. That was form at the time that we'd all have laughed at, and look at it now, which is hilarious. But yeah, he'd be my idea as well of a big enough price. But I will be on Solness still. I am on him, but Found the 50 on the day, I think I will have a few quids as well, Cass. Yeah.
And Tony, did I ever tell you my theory where you back all the rags in the race, blah, 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 blah? Maybe this is the race for that. And can I ask you, Tony, actually, when you said you were talking to Kevin Blake, was there any steer whether Galileo Day would go for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle instead of the turn?
He would prefer that you would go for the Dawn Run. The owners prefer to go for the Triumph because they've backed her at a big price for the Triumph. And he said he's losing the battle at the moment.
Yeah, Joseph O'Brien was on Racing TV with Don McLean as well on a clip thing where he said he thinks pretty much he's going to the Triumph.
Yeah, wrong decision. Getting £10 in the Mayor's Novice, and probably the best form in the race should be going for that. Maybe the owners listen to this and will consider you can win that, you can't win the Triumph. Gary Connolly will get back to the champion chase. John Bond is hovering around the even money mark. Is he the one you like?
Probably in the day of the race, yeah. He's a bit disrespected more so than underrated. Probably I can see them looking to take him on the day. I won't be backing him now. I think did you get maybe 6-4, 7-4 on the day? Maybe, I don't know.
No.
Depending on the first results days. But yeah, if he gets to that sort of price 6-4, I'd be getting involved. Not now. It's just hard to knock. Like the Cheltenham form, yeah, like you could make a case, but this is a non-race. Like there's not not a whole pile in this. Like, he's just easily the best horse, but just a bit short. Bigger on the day, gets stuck in. I'll hold off on it.
Okay, I think you're right. You'll get bigger on the day, not 6-4. I'd say maybe 5. You'd be 5-4 the morning of, because the books, even talking to some of the traders from the farms, they will be keen to take him on, but they don't need to go 6-4, 7-4 to track business anymore. They don't tend to do that anymore. In the Supreme Champion Ireland Championship, it just doesn't happen. They only go a tick over rather than 3 ticks, don't they? Okay, so John Bond for Gary Connolly. Dermo, we'll summarise again the Wednesday. You're going for Solness, is it?
Solness, yeah.
I found a 50. I found a 50 for Tony Keenan Matata if he runs. The next race is the Grand Annual. And Dermo, you've been keen for a long time, King of PRs, or PRS, however we say it. Do you know how to say it? First of all, is it King of PRs?
King of PRS, but I kind of switch it up every now and then before, because I wasn't ever sure. And there was one week where I kept doing it to the point where there was loads of comments on YouTube asking me what was the name of the horse. King of PRS.
He doesn't deserve to win now, to be fair.
I think he's very good. The only concern I have is that he has been taken out before due to unsuitable ground, which was good. Now, the only thing is that was his first run of the season. 2 runs back, he was second behind on Pound Darrig, and that was on good to yielding ground. So I think he will be fine. For a Cromwell horse, he got in light enough here now. He got £1 only on his Irish mark. That was a really good run last time as well in that Dan Moore. He was just really good. The eye was drawn to Midnight It Is, who I know let down the form last time. I think Midnight It Is just underperformed that day. But the King of PRS, I thought was a comfortable winner. I would love to see Connor Stonewalsh up on his back, as much as Keith Dunne is brilliant. He wouldn't do this weight anyway. And Stonewalsh is just so good in his handicap chases. He's such a good young jockey. So I'd love to see him up here. And yeah, Cass, previously you'd be looking for a better handicapped horse, but I don't think that is the case anymore with these 4 runs now kind of needed. So I think he'll take a bit of stopping here.
Yeah, not too many novices in here. I see Springwell Bay is there. You couldn't name too many other novices. Gary, do you have one in the Grand Annual?
Yeah, probably with Demo. I think that Dan Moore is a very strong piece of form. I wouldn't be against Pat Dora or Midnight It Is. I think Cromwell wins it. I'd probably, if the Freedom line up, I'd be back in the Freedom. Strongest on the King of PRs. But the other 2 I'd give a live chance to. So Cromwell winner for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to go into Dan Moore form as well. And American Mike was beaten 4 lengths and has a £6 swing with the King of PRs. And I think Elliot has had this horse wrong, and he'd say it himself. He's had this horse wrong for a long, long time, running over marathon tricks and all sorts when they don't suit him. I think he's got loads of class. He was he second in a Cheltenham bumper, beat Factifile in a beginner's chase. And he's got a British mark here, 148, only £2 higher than his Irish mark. His jumping can be a touch sticky, which will not suit a Grand Annual. But some days he can jump great, and those days are when he's had a big break. I think Elliot has never touched this. The angle with this horse is he's best fresh. Like, his record fresh is 1-2, and the 2 was second back to while in the bumper. 1-2, 1, 4, 1, 6, and the 6 was in the Troytown when he couldn't stay. So he's had 3 wins and a second in the Cheltenham bumper when he's had breaks 75 days or more. Goes really well fresh. I just think American Mike, probably 2-2 would be a perfect trip, really. But I think he's a very classy horse, and running off less than 150, he definitely would have a big one in him, and he'll be a big price. Tony Keenan, anything in the Grand Annual, any thoughts on it?
No.
No. So we're moving on to our last race on the Wednesday, which is, as I've forgotten our running order, click into it here. Oh, the bumper. So Tony, you do
Bumper,
the
yeah.
bumper. Yes. So Tony, straight to you. Looks a bit of a nightmare to me, but what wins the champion bumper, and what do you think Patrick will ride?
I don't know, because neither of these 2 are necessarily going to be suitably nice ground. That was the comment after both of them. Big chasers, want a bit of slow ground type of thing. So be just hard will the 2 of them pitch up. Like, wouldn't be the mass surprise if one of them come out. I'm going to go through this in a bit more detail, but the horse at the moment, and again, look, with a number of horses, there's going to be 4 places on the day at least. I think Calypso's chance is the really solid one. I think he's done it twice in well-run bumpers. Most Irish bumpers aren't well-run. The champion bumper, bar the one that Sir Gerhard and Kilcrit fought out, tends to be a strongly run race, and coming from off pace generally suits. And Patrick Mullins educated him quite well the last day. Might have done the Elliott team a fair favour now, but kind of dropping him out and having him come through late. The type of ride that does tend to win the champion bumper in recent seasons. Horse coming up the near side, late seems to be the thing. And he's done it on the clock, and it's a little bit out of sight, out of mind. So I think 6-1, 4 places on the day. I'll be quite keen on him. The horse that I've been kind of most impressed in recent weeks in the bumper, seen, but I just wonder will come a bit soon from, was a horse called Kaiser Ball that won the bumper where the second leg of the big gamble ran. He's thrown really well. Beat horses with form. Gary Connolly horse in second, but it beat 7 lengths, won really well. Good time, does things right. Jockey's going to be a negative though if he rides in a race like this, obviously.
Can he claim in the bumper?
No, grade
Tony.
1. So no,
Yeah,
grade, not in grade 1. No. The Calypso's chance each way, and I'll wait and see this Kaiser Ball pitch.
Yeah, you do it's like fair play to Thomas Costello. Like what he's doing is incredible. He's at least a £7 penalty compared to Paul Townend coming up alongside him, isn't he? So that horse would have to be a machine to win a Cheltenham bumper. Diarmuid, a bumper, what do you fancy?
I have no opinion on bumpers really in general. I tend to wait for someone to tap me in the shoulder and say this horse will win this race, and that hasn't quite happened yet. As much as the 2 Mullins horses are good, depending on the preview or who's on them, they both seem to have their fans blowing the yard there. So it's Game of Inches does seem to be slightly the one that you're hearing a little bit more about, but I'd say they're very much kind of all over the place. I have a friend of mine who gets a decent gauge down there, and he said that a lot of the guys he knows down in Clonsutton are telling people to back Bambino Fever. So I God only knows, absolutely no idea at all. But yeah,
maybe they don't have one then if they're all that in between. I kind of yesterday morning I talked myself into backing the Game of Inches, thinking Patrick's definitely going to ride this. I kind of got 5.8 in the exchange. I thought 4-1 on run about a great bet because if Patrick rides it, doesn't go off 2-1 favourite. And now the horse drifting, I don't know what to think anymore. So it's a very hard one to get your head around. Gary, the bumper.
Yeah, it wouldn't be overly strong on anything. I wouldn't have any sort of clue in the pecking order Mullins, to be honest. Or even Elliott's. One I would probably have a few bob on is Mossy Fenroad for Harry Durham. I just thought I was actually there when he won his point to point at Ballyraggett. Lovely looking horse now, and he popped up in Wetherby last month. Just impressive. Nothing race now, but just done everything right and put the race to bed fairly quick. He's going to be overlooked because he's an English horse, not a high profile trainer. So it'd be a big price in the day. I'll throw a few bob on him.
wasn't Ballyraggett was that place in Kilkenny, wasn't it, where all those hurlers had their big night celebrate?
That's where the big Glanbia Park, the big Glanbia plant is. They're most famous for.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of, Cass.
Yeah. Good content here for our UK listeners now. The big milk plant in Ballyraggett. So we've gone through all the races for the Monday, Tuesday. Let's think about naps while we talk about this, and I'm going to come to each of you in turn as well. Tony Keenan, you first for a horse in either the 2 days, the Thursday or the Friday, and then we'll whip around for the naps at the end. So Tony, Thursday, Friday.
Get Gary as well, Cass. Sorry. Get Gary as well for the other two, because he missed our preview night due to a bereavement. Sorry for that, Gary. So then, yeah.
All three of you, Dermo, for Thursday, Friday, and then whap back around for a nap. So starting with Tony,
perfect.
Because I just wanted to tee the two of you up because I know Tony has one.
Yeah, okay. So Mullins has had a stable tour out today, and there's one or two spanners in the works. He's alluded to the fact that Spindlebury could possibly goes for the mare's chase. I'm a fan of Horner. I like her as a horse, as a mare. I think she might be 3 miler in time, but very likeable the way she did dismiss bioluminescence the last day. But it's probably in a price at the moment. But he also mentioned the possibility, if the ground continued to dry out, that Aurora Vega could go for the Dawn Run. Now, I actually backed her a fortnight ago, no bet at 12s. It's still there. It was just a bet taking a chance, get me money back more than likely. But the winner of that Solarina Hurdle, when it pitches up in the Dawn Run, I think you've had Minella Melody went off 11-4, Rosie's Hollow went off 15-2, Allegory Devassi, the year she won it, I think was around the 3-1 mark when she came out a non-runner. The other one that turned out to be quite decent in it didn't make the race either. She's can't think of it. It won the Fairy House race half the track then shortly afterwards in the blue, black and white colours. But I would say all of those are probably stronger done runs than this one. I'm not saying Aurora Vega is a particularly standout winner of the Solarina, but She's won a lot of races. She generally does things right. She stay well. Can't have her a 12-1 shot if she pitches off. Half that kind of price. In to me, what looks at a fairly ordinary dawn run. So I think take a chance maybe on the fact that she will pitch up. He's alluding to the fact that she might go today. 12-1. You'll have your money back in 10 days, if not anyway. So yeah, I think that's an okay bet at 12.
Okay, Aurora Vega for Tony in the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. And Diarmuid Nolan, Thursday, Friday. Is there anything on the highlight?
Yeah, so look, all my opinions are at the moment are kind of flat enough on the preview night, so I keep watching the preview night there. But the only one that I kind of regret now is that I didn't pick Lucky Place as my nap instead of Jericho de Repine. Just the drier this forecast gets, the more it suits him and the less it suits those around him now in that Stayers Hurdle. He has plenty of form there on good ground. Again, staying is the question mark, but he'll go over the top of that ground. He won an Ascot Hurdle very well in good ground. He beat Gower Road in a rail keel and good to soft. He's the one, I think, from the top of that market. Not that Homebide Lee hates it or anything else, but I think a lot of those other horses, the older they are, the more that the kind of giving the ground will help them an awful lot. I think he's the one that'll skip along the top of it. So the only regret I have, Cass, is just not backing my original opinion and backing him as my nap of the whole thing. That's all.
Yeah, Lucky Place in the Stayers Hurdle for Dermo. And Gary, Thursday, Friday.
Thursday, Jack Richardson Novice won in this. I'll be a big boxing man now, and I was always told never discount the fading star under the bright lights, and a fading star here who's going to go out on a high. Eddie O'Grady's going to roll back the years here. No flies on him. Is laid out totally for this. Had a spin at Navan there the weekend. This good ground. This is what he wants. Absolute plot job. I'm really strong on him. Who else do I like? Just looking through the races. The Kim Muir, I like Mint Boy. Just big eye catcher last time out against Mullins Hot Pot. Looks like his mark. I think he's been laid out for the race. And then the final day, County Hurdle, Lark in the morning. Just money talks for this one. That's all I'll say on that one. And the 520 Martin Pipe, Coburg to me, just on his French form, I have him at least a stone well in here. And I think he'll take a lot of stop in that race. Price is the price is too short, but he'll take a lot of stop.
Great. Like being on the preview in 2002 with Nedder O'Grady, horse fancy to win it. And
who is Tom Draper got running as well? Does he have anyone go?
yeah. Not so fair, might run a big race. So naps then for the Tuesday, Wednesday, we're kind of obliged to do this, and we'll go back the other way this time. So Gary, your nap of the Tuesday and the Wednesday.
Nap on the Tuesday will go with Beyond Your Dreams in the Boodles.
Yeah.
And nap on the Wednesday, ICO Madrid. That's the nap of the festival for me as well.
Very good. Nap of the whole week, ICO Madrid in the cross country. Dermo, you can have one each day or one, whichever you prefer.
Just comfort zone on the Wednesday for me, Kat. The Tuesday is very much going to be a likely day for me now. I don't have anything mad strong that day, really.
Okay, and I'll go, look, I'm a bit windy on Sarah Story now with the ground going the way it is, so I will go with Melina Girl, and if it's okay, I'll add her to our Sheet of Justice, the 16th one out there. I think she could go off a lot shorter, so I'll be adding Melina Girl.
I'll add comfort zone actually, please, to that sheet as well.
Okay, so we'll update that. And now our star striker, final say of the whole season, Tony.
Conor McManus here now is going to warm up now.
Yeah. We don't need a Tony Keenan no bet special here now, Tony. The best bet on the Tuesday and the Wednesday of the Cheltenham Festival.
Thanks, Cala Conti. Yeah, all the way.
Very good. Very good. Well, look, lads, thank you and best of luck. Are you going over? Gary, you going over? No?
Yeah, I'll be there the Wednesday.
Right.
Racing the Wednesday, and then I don't know. We'll see what the flights work out. Could be there Tuesday and Thursday, but definitely Wednesday.
Very good. Well, enjoy it. We know Dermot will be over there. I'm sure you'll be catching up in the box.
If he's on our couch, or he'll be catching up all right.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. And Tony, you'll be working and trying to. Do you manage to get out? You get a little bit of parental leave or something sorted next week?
What?
Do you get a bit of
food
parental
price?
leave?
Is that what you said? Yeah, food poison, I think. Yeah, something like that, Stephen. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
After,
good. Well,
in the afternoon, anyway.
well, best of luck with the oysters, crab claws, and lobster you're going to have this Saturday, Tony. So, look, that's it for our Tuesday, Wednesday preview. There will be a Thursday, Friday preview with the weekend preview show with Tom Lee and the gang. I've been your host, Stephen Cass, and thank you to Gary Connolly, Diarmuid, Tony Keenan. Thank you to our sponsors, Betfred and Gambling.com. And listen, everyone, have a great week. Enjoy it. Go mad, don't go mad. Do whatever you're going to do. But look, just enjoy it anyway if you can. All the best, everyone.